Welcome back, everybody, to Laying the Points with Luca Rosano. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, with another jam-packed edition of this show. We've got a lot to get to. The Lightning take on the Leafs for Game 3 in Tampa Bay this evening, and we got some great NBA games. It was an off night in the NBA, but the NBA is back with some great matchups as two teams avoid to go down 0-3. But we're going to start today's show with a cool segment that I actually created that saw me interview Maple Leafs fans in Toronto. And I asked them a very simple question. What would you give up to see the Leafs win the Stanley Cup? And there were a lot of interesting answers. So we're actually going to begin today's show by showing you that segment and take a look at what people had to say and what they would give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup. What would you give up to see a Leafs Stanley Cup?
Ooh. You know what? I think my kidney.
Like a left arm or something.
Yeah.
I gotta see that cup come home.
What's the craziest thing you'll do if they do win it?
I'll get a tattoo.
Yeah?
I'll get a tattoo of the Leaf on my back with the year they won, for sure.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go with you.
What would you give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup?
I'll give up my house.
Where would you live?
At my uncle's apartment.
I'd give up my whole family.
What would you give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup? One thing.
My mom.
Okay, what would you give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup?
A vacation in Mexico.
I would definitely give up a vacation in Mexico, yeah.
Would you give up either or?
Yep. No.
Oh, I'd cut my f***ing legs off, man.
For sure, Len.
Yeah, anything.
I'd probably finally be able to this guy's girl.
What would you give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
I'd give up my left leg,
Yeah.
hands down.
Nothing. My virginity.
What would you give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup?
I'd give up vaping.
My brother.
Wow, that's savage. Anything else, or is that it?
Maybe my parents.
Okay, what would you give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup?
My God.
Oh my God.
My law school diploma. My law school degree. That's what I would give up right now for that.
Oh my God. Honestly, I'm gonna say probably my firstborn. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, Sarah's been a fan since
my firstborn. I've been a fan, but imagine all these people.
Oh boy, that's a big one. Like, honestly, it's hard to describe, but like practically everything, to be honest. Like Stanley Cup in our arms. I mean, even just a first round win, you know.
What would you give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup?
Nothing, they're shite.
Nothing.
They are brutal. It's the worst sport I've ever watched in my life, man.
Nothing. I'm a Winnipeg Jets fan.
There you go. What would you give up for a Leafs Stanley Cup?
Oh, my sexuality, man. I'd suck it to watch the Leafs win a Stanley Cup.
So there you have it. You saw the many things people would give up to see the Leafs win a Stanley Cup. So I'm first going to say this. What would I give up for the Leafs to win a Stanley Cup? Absolutely nothing. The reason being, I got my Raptors championship. I'm a diehard Raptors fan. I'm good. With all due respect to the Maple Leafs, I would not sacrifice nowhere near the amount of things that those people sacrificed for the Leafs to win a Stanley Cup. And my immediate reaction to that was, does nobody love their family? I mean, you had people willing to give up their whole family, their mom, their dad, their brother. Like, are you kidding me? I think people need to, go back to looking at their morals instead of spewing out all these shameful answers. I know it's been a very long time, but let's keep our calm, everybody. I mean, you got to prioritize what's more important. Your family's more important than the Leafs winning a Stanley Cup. But it goes to show how long it's been since the last time the Leafs won a Stanley Cup, and people are desperate for one. People are willing to sell their soul for the Leafs to win a Stanley Cup. And this team might be on the doorstep of doing that. Obviously, coming into this matchup against the Lightning, a lot of people are saying this should be a matchup that should have been played in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Leafs really got to get through the Lightning in the first round. Well, here's the silver lining to that. I've been saying it since day one. If the Leafs can get by the two-time Stanley Cup champs, then they, I think, would have a very good chance of getting to the Stanley Cup final. But the Lightning, very, very good team, and there's going to be a big Game 3 tonight that we're going to be looking at right now, and we're going to see if the Leafs can go up 2-1 or if the Lightning can take that 2-1 series lead. Game 3 in Tampa. as the Maple Leafs are going to be Tampa bound, looking to rebound after losing in Game 2. It was a very disappointing Game 2, but at least the Leafs did show a lot of fight to end that game, so you're hoping they open up with that same momentum to begin this game. And it's funny, speaking of the Stanley Cup, the TNT crew actually got to hold and lift the Stanley Cup before the actual current Maple Leafs players have. We're going to roll the clip. This is a funny one.
Correct. No, you have. Hey. No, I ain't gonna do it on my head. That's the way. That's the way the Stanley Cup champions do it.
No, I can't.
Skate around the ice like this. No good.
Bad shoulders from carrying the Lakers, the Magic.
You know you can put 14 beers in that thing, man.
You can?
14 beers, Chuck.
14 beers can get in there?
It goes in there and three. There you go. Back away. There you go. What do you think?
I'm surprised, Chuck. No, you know I would never touch that.
You don't even want to touch it.
I would never touch a championship trophy.
Why?
That's just a rule. Anybody knows that.
Well, even if it's not your sport, even if it's not your sport,
even though it's not my sport.
Okay.
Well, that's a rule.
All right. That's cool. Were there any other? Hey.
Charles Barkley did not want to lift that thing. Everybody else was quick to lift that Stanley Cup above their head, but I respect Chuck. He said, I would never do that. Unless I've won it, I don't want to hold it over the top of my head. But who am I kidding? I mean, if somebody said, hey, here's the Stanley Cup, the real thing, you sure as hell know I'm going to pick that thing up over my head. Hopefully you don't drop it to experience that. So we'll see if the Leafs can do the same. But one thing they have to avoid is being shorthanded. That really killed the Leafs in Game 2. The Leafs were shorthanded 7 times. And that's the most amount of times they've been shorthanded in their last 138 games. And another thing that the Leafs need is they need Marner's playmaking ability. Marner's been on the ice for 7 of the Leafs' 8 goals in this series so far. But that speaks volumes to the fact that the Maple Leafs need more help outside of their superstar players. They need more help outside of Matthews and Marner. Somebody else has to step up. The depth of this team has to really show up for Game 3 if the Leafs want to sneak out of Tampa Bay with a win, with 2 wins possibly. And Sid Sixero of Breakfast Television put it perfectly. The Maple Leafs captain, an $11 million cap hit, has 1 goal in his last 10 games. Matthews and Marner can't do this by themselves. They just can't. Obviously, he's calling out Tavares, and I agree. Tavares needs to produce out there. I know, he does other things very well, but they need some offensive production from their captain if they want to get past the Lightning and make that deep playoff run, hopefully en route to a Stanley Cup appearance. So this Game 3 is going to be huge. And the odds makers, they took note of what the Lightning did at Game 2, because actually the Maple Leafs go into Tampa as the slight underdog. The Lightning are minus 1.5 favorites on the puck line, and they're also favorites on the money line. Forward Michael Bunting for the Maple Leafs, he returned to action in Game 2. He'll be out there, but the Maple Leafs are going to be expecting more out of him and other players, like I mentioned, if they are going to go into Tampa and win. And you got to look at the goalie matchup going into this game. I think this is going to make or break the game, because you look at Vasilevsky, he was incredible. He recorded his 50th career playoff victory as he became the 22nd goalie all time and the 5th active NHL goalie to reach that milestone. And you look at Jack Campbell, he had a really good Game 1, but Game 2 kind of fell off, and we know he has that bad tendency. He can look sharp, but then all of a sudden, when he gets on a little bit of, a cold streak, he tends to stay there, and I hope that's not the case here. So look for Jack Campbell, his play in this one, and see which Jack Campbell we're going to get, because we know Vasilevsky, he's been here before, he's a big-time goalie, and he responds after a loss as he did in Game 2, and you better believe he's going to be fueled by that home crowd of Tampa, hopefully for his sake, that Tampa Bay can win this game and go up 2-1, because we know you go up 2-1 in a series, history's on your side. The stats say that you got a very good chance of winning that best of 7 series. But I actually got a stat for all of you. The Leafs are 3-1 straight up in their past 4 games, and also they have had a success rate in their last Game 3s. This is a team that shows up for Game 3s of series And this is going to be a game that's been played on the road, but the Leafs have proven that they can go on to the road and win a very important road game. So we're going to get to my pick on this a little bit later on, but this series is heating up. Game 1, Leafs make that statement. They punch the Lightning right in the mouth. A lot of Leafs fans were hopeful that they could go up 2-0, but then what did the Lightning do? Resilient as the champions that they are. I expected the Lightning to do what they did, and they really put the pressure on the Leafs from the get-go. Again, it did not help that the Leafs were shorthanded a ton. The Lightning capitalized, and their star goalie, he responded in the face of adversity. So this Game 3, this crucial Game 3, goes on tonight, puck drop, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Go get your bets in. Again, Leafs, slight underdogs, going into Tampa. I'll have my pick a little bit later on. Okay, the next thing I wanted to get into are, of course, the NBA playoffs. Thursday was an off night. It was a chance for us to recharge our batteries and get ready for the end of this NBA postseason. I don't think there's going to be too many off days the rest of the way, but we got some big games tonight, and we're first going to start with the 76ers at home against the Miami Heat. The 76ers, who were feeling good just last week after they beat the Raptors in 6 games, are now down 2-0 and are 2 losses away from being eliminated. And if they lose tonight, they'll face the same fate that the Raptors did of being down 0-3. They do not want to go down 0-3. Obviously, no team in NBA history has ever come back from an 0-3 series deficit. But there is good news, Sixers fans. For as deep as this hole may seem going up against the 1 seed in Miami Heat, there's a good chance Joel Embiid will be ready to go. As Shams tweeted out, Sixers All-NBA star Joel Embiid has cleared concussion protocols, dealing with orbital fracture and a torn ligament in thumb. Embiid is doing everything possible to be available to play in Game 3 tonight versus Miami. I first want to say this. I applaud Joel Embiid. We need more of this in sports. He is doing whatever he can to make sure he is out there on the court because he knows his team needs him. He watched the first 2 games like we did. That Sixers team has no shot at beating the Heat without Joel Embiid out there. James Harden can't do it on his own, as he's proven us that. Tobias Harris, Maxey, they need Embiid to open up their game. And for Embiid to actually have a chance to play tonight, despite everything he's dealing with, shows you how hungry this man is, shows you that he really wants it. And I'm not a fan of the Sixers at all, one of the Raptors' biggest rivals. But I respect the hell out of Joel Embiid for doing what he's doing, whatever it takes to be out there on the court for his teammates, for his team. That is the heart of a guy who wants to win at all costs. And I hope we get Embiid out there because I hate injuries and I always want to see these matchups with best on best going at it. So I do have this feeling that Embiid will be out there tonight and he will do what he does best, and that is try to take over the game for the 76ers, dominate inside, get the offense rolling, lock down defensively. And it just changes the entire complexion of the Sixers when Embiid is out there. So this is a huge morale boost. It's a huge confidence boost. And it's a huge production boost. And those fans of Philly, they better give Joel Embiid a huge standing ovation if he's able to suit up for this one. We all thought he was done for the playoffs. When that initial news broke just last week after that series against the Raptors, a lot of people did not expect Embiid to be back. But he could be back for tonight's Game 3. And if the 76ers win tonight, then all of a sudden, we got a series. So we'll see if and how Joel Embiid plays tonight against a very, very stout Miami team. It's not like he's coming back against one of the worst teams in the NBA. He's coming back against one of the most vicious defensive teams in the Miami Heat. Tall task. The other matchup, another team trying to overcome an 0-2 series deficit. The Dallas Mavericks. And Jason Kidd, this quote, it says it all. Jason Kidd says he had a great game, but no one else showed up when talking about Luka Doncic. We can't win with just him out there, scoring 30 a night. Not at this time of year. Jason Kidd is everybody right now. Whether you're a Mavericks fan or just an admirer of the NBA and NBA playoffs, Luka Doncic is on no man's land right now. Can somebody give this dude some help? He's putting up Michael Jordan-esque numbers. He can continue to drop 40-plus points. He could post a 40-plus triple-double the rest of the series, and the Mavs might still get swept. That just shows you the discrepancy of these two teams. You have one team that is loaded from top to bottom, and you got the other team that they have one talented superstar, but his supporting cast is hit or miss. And they need that supporting cast tonight in Dallas, because if those guys can't do their job and the Brunsons of the world can't hit their threes, and it's just Luka versus everybody, I don't like this Mavericks team chances at all. And why would you? And that's going to lead me to this question. Which team has the better chance at coming back from 0-2? Sixers or Mavs? I got to give the edge to the 76ers. If Embiid is in fact coming back, that is a huge boost to them. We know the 76ers, what they're capable of doing. We know they have the talent to compete. And if you look at what the Mavs have to go up against, they got to go up against the best team in the NBA. A team that I said nobody has a shot at beating other than the Warriors. So unless Luka can drop 60 the rest of the way, or his supporting cast members look like the supporting cast of the 2011 championship-winning Dallas Mavericks squad, there is no chance the Dallas Mavericks come back to win this series against a very hungry, motivated Phoenix Suns team that looks poised to get back to the NBA Finals. I know Nick Wright, he likes Dallas's chances still, but he's just talking a whole bunch of you-know-what. There's no chance that the Mavs come back and win this series. I'm actually going to say no chance. If it happens, I'll eat my words on this show. But Phoenix is just a cut above everybody else, it seems. And unfortunately, Dallas does not have enough to combat that. So the Sixers have the better chance at overcoming an 0-2 series deficit. And just for fun, I mean, do I realistically think one of these two teams actually comes back? Well, I just said no to Dallas. Do I think the Sixers can come back? They'll make it a series, but I don't see them coming back either. It's very tough at this point of the postseason to dig out of an 0-2 series deficit, especially what both these teams have to go through. Dallas, a lack of depth and talent to match the Suns, and a very big if with Joel Embiid, who's going to be coming into this game not at 100% at all, probably at like 60%. So it's going to be tough for both squads. Okay, let's get into some picks for tonight. We got 3 games I'm looking at here. You can bet on this if you want to do a 3-game parlay. The first game, I just talked about it. Heat, Sixers. The Heat are minus 2-point favorites. So the line actually went from -3 to -2 after the Joel Embiid news. So that was worth about a point. A lot of unknown, again, with Joel Embiid. So that makes sense to me. But who do I like tonight? I'm going to go with the 76ers. I don't think the 76ers are going to go down 0-3. I think Embiid plays, and I think the role players have a much better shooting night. I think Embiid being out there is going to take a lot of the pressure off Harden. He can look like James Harden from Game 6 against the Raptors. He could be more assertive. He can, open things up. And I think Maxey will also have a better game with Embiid being in there. Like I said, Embiid being out there just opens up so many things. He attracts so much attention, and it's going to give good looks to those open shooters around the corner. So I do like the Sixers to get a much-needed win to keep this series alive. They will cover tonight. I'll even take them on the money line. The next game, Suns-Mavs. Vegas thinks this is going to be a toss-up game. They only have the Suns actually as minus 1-point favorites, despite what the Suns did to the Mavs in those first 2 games. So they're thinking Dallas being at home will be a huge boost to their chances. Who do I like tonight? I'm actually going to go with the Mavs. I'm going to go with Dallas tonight. I don't think they go down 0-3. I'm going to go with another slight underdog here. I do think those role players that I just called out will step up. They'll fuel off the home crowd. Luka's going to do his thing. And I think the Mavs as a whole are going to be able to shoot the ball well from 3 especially. They had a game already this postseason where they hit, 23? So they're going to need a game like that to beat Phoenix. So I do like both the Sixers and the Mavs to win Game 3 tonight to get within one game of tying up the series. And then the final game we're going to look at here, Lightning going up against the Leafs. The Lightning, not the Leafs, the 1.5-point favorites on the puck line. Who do I like tonight? I'm going with the Maple Leafs. Give me the Leafs plus 1.5. I would not be surprised if they win this game outright as a slate underdog. So that's value because you could bet on them as a dog. So I like the Leafs to lose by no more than 2 goals, and I can see them winning this game outright. So you know what? I might actually put the Leafs on the money line as well. But I won't get greedy for this 3-team parlay. To recap my picks, I like the Sixers plus 2. I like the Mavs plus 1. I'm getting that point. And I like the Leafs plus 1.5 on the puck line. That is my 3-team parlay, and hopefully I could go 3-0, and I can brag about it on Monday's show. And with that being said, that's going to conclude another great edition of Laying the Points with Luca Rosano. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, coming to you every single Monday through Friday from the Parlay Studios, where we look at the biggest storylines in sports and we talk sports odds and more. Have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy the games, and I'll see you back here on Monday.